Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel again. I'm Liz here at Flippin' Lizzie, and I'm a part-time reseller in Maryland. I've been down for the count for a few days with a cold, so I haven't been able to get it together to get a video out for you guys, but we are headed to the thrift store, so never fear. Hopefully we'll find some amazing stuff and learn things along the way, whether we find treasures or not, although I hope we really do. So buckle up. Click that like and subscribe button. Thanks so much for being here. We're growing really fast because of you guys. So thanks for that. And let's hit the road. Well, here we are, 2nd Avenue. One of my very favorite places to shop. Although I have to say lately, the word must have gotten out because it does seem like the shelves don't hold quite as many treasures as they used to. I did notice these metal martini glasses. They had a really cool Art Deco look to them, but they were really light. So even though their silhouettes were really cool, they weren't marked and they were really light. So they kind of felt like an inexpensive way to spruce up your retro looking bar. And they wanted $20 for them. So that was not going to work for flipping. I keep seeing those cobalt blue, I think it's Y2K glasses. I guess people have decided they're over it. And I'm always drawn to any kind of animal art. I guess I always have been. This is one of those leather wrapped statues, but he was really damaged. The squirrel was resin. This was, I believe, Homeco. I already have one of those and it hasn't sold, so I didn't want another one. And this actually seems sort of well made, but maybe not that vintage. I didn't see a mark either. In general, you'll know if a figurine has a lot of value because it will feel different. It'll feel good in your hand, if that makes sense. And it will be very finely painted or have a lot of detail. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some kitschy mid-century pieces that don't have value, but a lot of those really aren't going to have a huge flip value, so you're not going to make a big mistake. And I did like this vase, although it was lighter than you would imagine based on its size. Still a little heavy for one hand. But some of the flash was coming off of it, so it wasn't actually colored glass. And I don't love clear glass, but I like these starbursts on these candlesticks. I can't say that candlesticks actually sell well for me, although I know other sellers do quite well with them. I'm drawn to them, but only if they're special. Now, a little piece went flying off of that, but I don't think it belonged to it. This sort of had a vintagey princess look, but then the back did not look vintage, so I think it was retro. This is kind of retro also, and also has a piece flying around. Time flies. More animal stuff. This guy's tail had broken off and had been repaired relatively well, but I really try not to sell broken items, especially if they're not hugely valuable. And I'm always drawn to these creepy clowns. I mean, I don't want to keep them in my house, but I'm drawn to them as a reseller. I think his music box did work. It's actually harder than you think without stopping the video to check that. But I tried to think about how much it would be worth and how many people want it for the creep value. Super cute. I kind of identify with this little figurine until I saw the $7.99 price tag. And then I no longer identify with her. I guess I'm cheap. This was really cool. I didn't check the music box because that dragon's tail was so broken. These loons were cool. I think they were modern, made of wood, but they were really beautiful. But both of their beaks or bills were chipped. So that's not going to work. And I took these horses for a ride. Oh gosh, that came out funnier than I meant it to. I did take these all the way around the store. I was going to keep them, even though they were kind of like hobbyist painted, like sloppily painted, just because I know that these Tang horses can be good. And then when I got to checkout, I realized I had the discounted color wrong, so they weren't discounted. And they had some chipping around the bases, and I talked myself out of it. But I got to take them for a ride, which with horses is always fun. This little girl from Romania is still here, and she's so sweet, but she has a broken finger. It might even be an important finger. Not too much in the figurines today. I felt this cardinal really needed to be upright. Lovely, but I don't want to ship that. I always fall for stuff like this. Man on the moon stuff, trinket dishes, my favorite thing. I did buy this. I'm trying to remember if I show you the price. So it was $3.49. These actually don't comp out that well, which is the story of my life when it comes to trinket dishes, but I'll probably make about $10 on it, and I just thought it was so cool to commemorate such a huge event in the history of humankind. I mean, you just can't fool yourself. If you like it because it's cool, just be prepared to keep it because you might not be making any money on it. And I could keep that. I definitely have a lot of trinkets to put in dishes. This is such a sad thing. It's like a Six Flags broken tree stump made out of ceramic. I guess something's missing there. I'm always drawn to these Sacred Heart things, and they do sell really well. But this was actually like a cutout card taped to the top of a wooden box. I think it was a gift box. So that was not going to have great flip value. I'm always drawn to these like coasters and trivets. I don't often buy heart pottery, but when it's signed, I do. This one was signed McBride, which you'd think it would be so easy to find out the value. However, McBride is not an uncommon last name. So when I tried to comp this out, I got tired and decided it was worth that price, a few dollars. I think I'll probably make $20 on it, $15, $20. I'll probably put that in my booth since I can't seem to identify the potter or the artist. And this was such a cute little dish. See, trinket dishes. Look at the colors. It was so shiny. And the texture was cool, kind of like a treasure craft. But it was a souvenir piece, and that ruined it for me. I remember when these chef plaques were so popular, and we thought they were so cool. I just can't remember if it was the 80s or 90s. And that was a faux vintage farmer's market sign, which was really cute. And if it had actually been vintage, I would have been totally on board. This was just a box. No lid. Nothing in it. No names. That was an okay box, but it was like too big for recipes and too small for anything else. I'm doing the voiceover in my car because my dog does not cooperate at this time of day. So you might hear it running. I had to hide from the whole family. I'm sure some of you can relate at times. So this is sort of the wood section, obviously. I have a weakness for birdhouses. Sometimes they do sell, and when they don't, that's fine with me because more birdies can move into my yard. But that didn't even have a bottom to it. And I took this little like rattan, I guess it's a box, piece with me for a ride, and I decided, I don't remember what the price was, $3 or something, that I wasn't really going to get very much out of it. These pieces reminded me of when I was a stay-at-home mom with little ones, those decorative pieces. And this was like maybe like a butter mold, also went for a ride, didn't come home with me. Don't worry, I didn't end up buying this, but I kind of liked this. Like, I don't know if it was a magazine rack or for knitting needles. It's missing a leg, which I did notice before I even left the aisle, but I didn't catch on film that I put it back. So you'll see it go in the cart. It doesn't stay in the cart because I just knew something was up. It was really pretty. It said Guatemala, and normally I don't buy souvenir stuff, but it was really nice and useful. And then this, I believe, was, yes, so this is Taos pottery, probably around $30. It's got the chili peppers on it, which is probably 80s, 90s. And I took this for a ride as well. Giovanelli is how I'll pronounce the name. The comps were not very good on this, even though it was kind of cute. I wanted to ignore the comps. I guess I did, because it went all the way around the store, and I edited my cart at the end, which I don't think I filmed that, because I really needed both hands to do that. This looked like Native American pottery. I don't think it actually was. This looked like art pottery. No, I don't know if it really was. Because I already had the other piece that reminded me of it, and this one didn't appear to be signed, I left this one behind. And I put the stickers back, but they put it on purpose, I swear, where it's going to cause damage or cover the name. I was just thinking, I'm not going to buy any more of those cutesy vintage planters, like the ones that are baby shoes. But then this one, get well soon, with this adorable dog who feels kind of sorry for himself. It was a couple of dollars. I think it will bring some money in the booth. I feel like people don't know what to give as a gift when someone's not well. I don't think I'll ship it because comps were around $25 and I do free shipping, and I'm just not, I can't do that. That was a resin Cocker Spaniel. I don't do a lot with resin figurines. I must have lived through the resin era, so it doesn't appeal to me. This does. It's kind of cute. I can't remember the name of that movie. And this garage sale money is still here, this little jar, no cork and no money in it. I loved this little vase. So beautiful and so chipped. I can't remember if I looked. Yeah, there was a name. I'm going to show it to you. I think it says Benner, but it might have said Renner. I can't remember. It was so disappointing to see that chip. These were beautiful. I haven't seen these before. I think these were 80s. I liked the flower pattern. I was kind of on board. I looked to see if they were signed or marked. They weren't. I was going to walk away. But I said, well, let me just see how much they want for this set. And then I did like a triple take with the camera. You can just hear me going, oing. Because $40 for 6 glasses, that's not even an antique store price. So this is something I have not seen from this particular store before. This is a little IKEA piece, and that store fools me all the time. I thought for sure this was some rare vintage piece. Those go for like $15, but I pretty much only do vintage, so I left it behind. And this lusterware teapot caught my eye until I saw the extreme damage on the spout. I wanted to see how much it was anyway. I wasn't going to buy it, but it had a really pretty scene. I thought about taking this little ice bucket. It had really pretty gilding on it. I tried as hard as I could to read the sticker. Yeah, it didn't happen. Even with my optivisor, my magnifier. This is a cheese board, Ernest Sohn, I believe, mid-century. I always buy these. They don't bring as much as they used to, but I can't leave them behind because I never find them. Probably $25 to $30 online or similar in the booth. And I had to get this art tile because it was weird. It reminded me of that famous outsider artist around the turn of the century, Bill Traylor. He does a lot of guys in top hats and dogs. And I did look up that artist, but I couldn't find her work, so I couldn't comp it out. I just know that the artist of that tile is a teacher in the Baltimore, D.C. area. I just wanted to check and see if there were any other really nice mid-century, like cheese boards or trays there. This was a really nice and large and lightweight Japanese wooden tray, but it had a pretty serious chip. And storing it, if I kept it, was going to be a challenge. It was that wide or long. But with the damage, I really didn't want to sell it. I'm always looking at coasters. I know that some pickers have really good luck with coasters. So I did pick up some art that I'll show you guys at the end. I checked out the bags. I couldn't read this. The price was kind of high anyway. If you know who this was by, can you drop a comment down below? I probably should have focusing on the name again. I have not been finding a lot of really good purses down here at 2nd Avenue lately. I pulled this Stone Mountain one off the rack. I like the color. I like the style. It might be a little bit vintage, like maybe 90s. Y2K. I'm not sure. The lining looked good. I'm trying to show you that it's Stone Mountain. It might only be like a $30 flip, but it was relatively inexpensive, so I did take that one. That one rode all the way home. It didn't just ride around the store. So I did take a look at some of the other ones. Fake vintage, fake leather. Didn't see too much I really liked. This tote, actually the next tote had nice colors. It looked like it could have been something. But when I touched it, I said, I don't think it's anything. And that one was kind of nice too. I have tons of tote bags, so I don't need one for me. And I did just open up a 4th antiques booth locally in historic Ellicott City. And I have only like a tire there. But the rack that I keep bags on is sort of full, so I'm trying not to really get overstocked unless it's absolutely necessary. I don't really want to fill up my whole car and life with items I can get $10 on, but they take up $20 worth of space. This was interesting, but it was actually really beat. Now, this was going to be my victory, my swan song or whatever. I don't know if it even shows on the camera. There is an enormous repair on that piece of raku, which was signed, although the signature was blocked by some of those little felt pads. So I thought it was going to be like worth $100, and it's very broken, and I bought it and paid $11 for it. So that piece underneath is from me. These Smurf glasses comp out at about $50. Here's a vintage or antique map from Massachusetts I picked up, which might sell for about $80 online. It's nicely framed. And this was 2 dogs napping. I have not been able to find this exact print. It was like number 15 out of, 500 or something. A couple of clothing items for me and the family. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I'm just trying to show you a couple of things I didn't get on camera. Now, the rabbit I did keep. The horses I told you I put back. The chickadee mug is about a $10 flip down at the antiques booth. But I still think I kind of learned a lot. Thanks for being here. Like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time.